P.S. That bourbon at the Carlisle? I pocketed the glass. Fingerprints make excellent leverage. The positive pregnancy test stared up at me like a blinking neon sign in a church. Pregnant. I gripped the marble sink of my ensuite bathroom, my perfect French manicure digging into my palms. The math wasn't hard. Marcus had been in Dubai for the entire conception window, which meant one very inconvenient truth. This baby wasn't a Wellington. My phone buzzed with a new text. Tonight, usual place, I miss that mouth. Damon, my personal trainer, the man whose sweat-drenched sessions in our private gym had recently gotten creative with their stretching routines. I typed back one-handed while popping my prenatal vitamin with the other. Bring the cash this time. We need to talk. Damon's penthouse gym had been my favorite marital loophole. Marcus was too weak to use most of the equipment anyway. But today, as Damon's calloused hands slid up my Lululemons, all I could think about was the $500,000 paternity clause in my prenup. You're distracted, Damon murmured against my neck, his biceps flexing where he pinned me against the weight rack. I'm pregnant, I hissed. His hands froze. For 3 heartbeats, we just stared at each other, him in a tank top and gorgeous, me in a sports bra that cost more than his monthly rent. Then, like the broke opportunist he was, Damon started smiling. That's our golden ticket, Chantel. He cupped my non-existent bump. We just need to make the nerd believe it's his. I slapped his hand away. Our ticket? Baby, this is a me problem. Damon's smile turned dangerous. Try explaining that to page 6. The photo flashed across his phone screen before I could react. A grainy but unmistakable shot of us in this very gym, his teeth sunk into my shoulder while my legs wrapped around his waist. Fuck. I spent the next 72 hours in a Xanax and caviar haze, weighing options. 1. The discreet abortion. Simple, clean. But Marcus had been weirdly eager for an heir lately. 2. The fake miscarriage. Messy, emotional, but great for sympathy jewelry. 3. The paternity lie. Risky, nuclear. But if I could gaslight a billionaire into believing he'd knocked me up during one of our rare drunken couplings. My plotting was interrupted by Marcus slamming his briefcase onto our breakfast bar. We're hosting the Saudi investors tonight, he said, not looking up from his tablet. Where the emeralds? I sipped my detox tea. I'm not feeling well. Not an option. His eyes flicked to my flat stomach. They're bringing wives this time. Traditional types. They'll want to see domestic harmony. That's when I noticed it. The way his gaze lingered on my waist. The extra security around my schedule lately. The sudden interest in my cycle. Oh, you clever little troll. Marcus didn't just want an heir. He'd planned this. The dinner party was my personal hell. 12 courses of me pretending not to gag at lamb while Saudi princesses side-eyed my untouched wine. You look radiant, Princess Aisha lied through veneers. Pregnancy becomes you. I nearly choked on my mineral water. Across the table, Marcus smiled like the cat who got the canary. Later, in our panic room-sized walk-in closet, I confronted him. You had me followed? Marcus didn't even look up from tying his $800 shoes. I pay for everything in your life, Chantel. Did you really think I wouldn't notice a missing period tracker app? The air left my lungs. That stupid fertility app he'd insisted on after the prenup renegotiation. You hacked my phone? Security feature. He adjusted his tie in the mirror. The question is, who's the father? I could have lied, should have lied. But something about his calm made me reckless. Does it matter? You just need the world to believe it's yours. For the first time in our marriage, Marcus looked genuinely shocked. Then he laughed. A real belly-deep laugh that made him have to sit on my shoe bench. Oh, Chantel, he wheezed, wiping his eyes. You really are perfect. He reached into his pocket and slid a check across the closet island, made out to me. $2 million. First installment, he said, for playing the happy family until the IPO. I stared at the number, at the man who'd outmaneuvered me. at my own reflection in the floor-to-ceiling mirrors. Then I folded the check into my bra. Does this mean I get to pick the baby's last name? P.S. Damon's blackmail photo, already leaked to TMZ by Marcus's PI. Some people just love their job. The labor pains hit during the Wellington Industries IPO gala, because of course they did. I gripped the edge of the ice sculpture display, my sequined Versace gown suddenly drenched in sweat and amniotic fluid. Across the ballroom, Marcus was mid-speech to Wall Street's elite, his custom Tom Ford tuxedo doing nothing to hide the panic in his eyes when he saw me double over. "We need to go now!" I hissed as he rushed to my side, the investors' champagne flutes shattering in our wake. The paparazzi swarm outside the hospital was worse than my contractions. Flashbulbs exploded in my face as Marcus barked orders at security, his manly frame somehow clearing a path through the chaos. "Chantel Wellington in labor." Is it really his baby? Sources say the prenup voids if... I screamed obscenities at them all the way into the delivery suite. 3 pushes from hell later, the doctor placed a squalling, perfect baby boy in my arms. Marcus froze. The nurses froze. I stopped breathing. Because my son, my beautiful red-faced son, had the Wellington nose, the Wellington chin, and most damning of all, he was precious. Not premature small. He was healthy. The doctor's voice cut through the silence. "Congratulations, Mr. Wellington, he has your eyes." Marcus reached for the baby with trembling hands. For one heart-stopping moment, I thought he might drop him, or throw him, or finally snap and admit what we both knew was statistically impossible. Then my billionaire nerdy husband started sobbing. They took the baby for tests. They took me for sedation. By the time we were alone in the recovery suite, Marcus had transformed into a man I didn't recognize. Giddy, disheveled, pouring 2 glasses of hospital-grade apple juice like it was Dom Perignon. "To Kyle Marcus Wellington IV," he toasted, his voice cracking. I didn't raise my glass. "You knew." Marcus sipped his juice. "That Damon had similar features running in his family?" "Yes." The monitors beside me flatlined for a second. "Excuse me? Did you really think I'd let you fuck a personal trainer without a full background check?" Marcus adjusted his tiny tie. "Though I'll admit, the 1 in 10,000 genetic coincidence is poetic." I hurled my juice at his head. The security footage played on Marcus's tablet between us. Damon? My Damon, at age 12, standing in front of a mirror, practicing his smile. Damon's medical records listing both parents having similar dark hair and blue eyes, splitting image of you when he was younger too. Marcus closed the tablet. "The prenup stands. The money's yours. But the boy stays a Wellington." I stared at my sleeping son. Our son. In every way that mattered. The ultimate hybrid of my greed and Marcus's cunning. A living, breathing loophole. "Was this your plan all along?" I whispered. "Pick a gold digger stupid enough to get pregnant with a personal trainer's baby?" Marcus leaned in, his breath warm against my ear. "I picked a woman ruthless enough to survive this family." The photos from Kyle's first birthday party broke the internet. Not just because of the obscene display of wealth, though that certainly played a part, but because of the story they told without saying a word. The kind of story that had gossip blogs scrambling for analysis and society wives clutching their pearls over their midday martinis. There was a Marcus himself standing just behind me, his hand resting possessively on my shoulder. His smile was the picture of paternal pride as Kyle smashed fistfuls of cake into his own face, the sugary mess smearing across his chubby cheeks. The media loved that shot. Billionaire doting father. But they didn't see the way his grip tightened just slightly when the cameras turned toward me. A reminder. A warning. And then there was Damon, lurking in the background of every shot like a shadow that refused to fade. He was harder to spot if you didn't know what to look for, just a sliver of his profile in one photo, the edge of his sleeve in another. But he was there. Always. Now employed as Kyle's full-time personal trainer, because apparently even toddlers need fitness regimens in this world, on a very generous NDA-protected salary. His jaw was clenched in every picture, his eyes never quite meeting the lens. The reporters shouted their usual questions, voices overlapping into a meaningless buzz. Microphones jabbed toward me like weapons, their black foam heads swallowing the air between us. The heat of the camera flashes licked at my skin, each burst of light a fleeting brand. How does it feel to be the envy of every woman in the city? A blonde from Society Daily smirked as she asked it, her tone sticky with faux admiration. I could practically see the headline already. Gold Digger Queen Reigns Supreme. Is it true Marcus funded your mother's boutique hotel in Bali? That one came from a man in the back, his voice sharp with accusation. I recognized him, the same tabloid hack who'd camped outside the hospital the day Kyle was born, desperate for a shot of the billion-dollar baby. Then, the question that made my pulse hitch, just for a second. What's the dynamic like between you and Damon now? A hush rippled through the crowd. Even the photographers paused, lenses freezing mid-click. Damon's name was the unspoken grenade in every room, the one topic the gossip rags couldn't twist enough to satisfy their readers. I let the silence stretch, savoring it. Marcus's fingers tensed against my shoulder. Be careful. But I didn't need his warning. I'd rehearsed this moment in the mirror 100 times. So I tilted my head, letting the emeralds at my throat catch the light, and offered a smile as polished as the lie I was about to tell. Next question. Then the crowd erupted again, but the moment had already slipped through their fingers. Damon's shadow lingered at the edge of the frame, his silence louder than any answer I could have given. I didn't answer. Instead, I adjusted Kyle's tiny crown. Yes, we'd literally crowned him because why shouldn't my son have everything? And smiled for the cameras. The perfect picture of a modern family. Because here's the secret no one tells you about gold digging. The real treasure isn't the money, it's the leverage. And as the flashes went off, as Marcus's grip warmed against my skin, as Damon's silence spoke louder than any confession, I knew I had more than enough to burn this whole empire down if I wanted to. But where's the fun in that? P.S. That $2 million is invested in a trust fund for Kyle's future therapy bills.